What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the new vehicle added into GTA Online this past Thursday, the Declasse Granger 3600 LX, which is going to cost you $1,035,000, which is pretty crazy. But if you guys are into the Yukon or the lovely Suburban, well, this is perfect vehicle for you because it's basically a newer version of those, which looks pretty nice compared to the old Granger at least. The interior looks better than the Jubilee, which is pretty sad, honestly. But nonetheless, you can see there's not really too much detail in the back there. Anyway, let's go customize it right now. Now, moving over to the customization, let's throw some armor on this thing. And we have armor plating, so 150,000. So, I'm going to throw that on there and see what happens. And I feel like this truck's going to be a big waste of money. But let's hope not. Let's throw the brakes on there. And let's check out the bumpers here. So, there's only... So, there's going to be two bumpers you can put on. I'm going to throw on the bottom one here. That one looks pretty nice. Rear bumpers, there's actually... there's three other ones. Okay. So, primary... secondary. I'm gonna have to go with the black rear bars there. And moving over to the engine, let's max it out. I really hope this thing isn't really slow. I have a feeling it's gonna be, but let's hope the armor looks kind of cool on it at least. So here's the exhausts. It's at the side there, kind of like that one. Ooh, the dual exhausts look pretty nice. So there's those. I'm gonna have to go with the side dual exhaust. I think those look pretty nice on there. Moving over to the hood, a little hood scoop there. Not really sure if that's actually needed or not, to be honest, but I guess we'll find out. Probably not going to throw any of these on there. So you guys are into the hoods. Probably easier if I change the color of this so you guys can actually see that. Amani Tech, you can put on the missile lock-on jammer, but I don't think anyone wants to make this truck close to $2 million. I don't think that's the greatest idea. Here are the liveries. The Class A there goes on the side. That looks pretty nice. Probably get like a nice little Yukon like kind of color there going on. And then that's interesting. Oh. So the liveries actually look kind of cool on this. Unfortunately, I hope the truck's going to be good too. There's the racing ones there. And then obviously we have the mirrors after that, which are probably going to be painted, carbon. I'll probably just leave those regular, honestly. Nothing to really change there. Nose accessories. Okay, so you could put on, put on that front thing. A snorkel. Huh. Alright, well, let's put the snorkel on there. Put the plate, and then primary weapons. I'm not going to put $297,000 machine guns on there because there's no reason to. And you can put the proximity mine. So you literally could make this truck like over $2 million, guys. So be a little careful on that if you guys are planning on getting this. That's kind of steep for what this thing is, but I guess nonetheless that I'm actually going to go with like a maybe like maybe you're thinking like a white color on here. But so for the color, I decided to go with the rolled steel, which I think will look pretty nice. I'm gonna go back up here to the liveries after the secondary color as well. So I'm guessing this is gonna be, what is it actually? Then again, I don't have any actual secondary stuff on there, so I'm gonna put that black there. Move back up to the liveries. I'm gonna put on the Class A thing on the side. Let's move back down to the roll cage, which is not needed, but it is needed. Let's throw that on there. We can go roof upgrades, a rack. So it's a painted and a secondary one. Yeah, I'm not gonna put that on there. It looks kind of insanely weird. So roof mounted lights. Look at that light bar up there. Let's see if that looks let's go back to the roof. Okay, it doesn't look as bad with that up there actually, but still kind of just unneeded. Side steps. Look how big the side step is on that. Like, what in the world? How big the side step is. Ooh, that one's kind of nice. So I might end up just leaving the regular one on there. I think that one looks pretty nice. Moving over to the suspension. Yeah, let's not lower it like that. I'll go with the lowered suspension. Transmission upgrade. Oh my gosh, turbo's half off. Wow. Okay, and then moving down to the wheels. Let's throw on some, why don't we go with some off-road tires on here. Make this thing look kind of aggressive, shall we? And then, let's see. For the rims, I'm going to have to go with... honestly, maybe the off-road tires don't look the greatest on here. I'm going to throw on the drag SPLs. Moving over to the black tires there. Tire design. Okay, it actually looks kind of dope like that. And then finally, let's add the smoke to the vehicle after that, and that is pretty much it when it comes to customization. There's a good amount that could be done. You guys put the armor panels on, the upgrades and all that, and the machine guns and the mines. You're going to be close to like 1.6, 1.7 million, which is kind of insane for this. But let's hope this thing can at least take an RPG shot, and let's hope it's actually kind of fast. Let's jump outside with it right now. So arriving outside, I gotta admit, it actually is a pretty good looking truck. It looks better than I thought it did with the off-road tires and the nice looking headlights there, plus the front bumper. I do like it. Let's open it up right now and see if there's any detail to it as well. Gotta admit, it's actually not as bad looking as I thought it was going to be. I kind of was going to get a little disappointed in it. So Here's the back piece there, which obviously big trunk, got the nice back bumper on there with the exhaust, and then the engine's not going to have any detail to it whatsoever, which is okay. Some of the other vehicles do at least, but nothing on this one. So let's close this thing up here and get back into it and see how it actually drives. I also have high hopes that this truck will be better than last week's vehicle because my goodness, what in the world was that? Anyway, let's go drive this thing so at least the light bar works on the top. So making this lady a little crazy. So it's going to be all-wheel drive there. Let's see how the acceleration is. Wow, it's actually... Oh. It's actually quicker than I thought it was going to be. Wow. This truck actually moves, and my goodness, it's faster than the one we had last week, bro. What? Okay. So, well, at least actually moving at 100 miles an hour. The other car did like 80 on a good day, and I think could probably barely get to 80 miles an hour if you wanted it to. But at least this truck actually moves. I'm doing 110 through the city, so this Suburban's actually pretty dang fast. I really just said Suburban, didn't I? Well, this upgraded Granger, I should say, is definitely actually pretty quick. The bumpers actually look good on it. They fit the truck nicely. I was kind of wondering about that, but it gives it like that like off-road, like kind of aggressive look. The light bar looks pretty nice on top as well. Let's head this way. So acceleration, I gotta admit, is actually pretty dang good for what it is. So $1 million is actually not too bad. It could be a pretty decent vehicle if you guys want to pick your friends up or use it in like missions and stuff like that. It might actually not be bad. Obviously, having something like the Night Shark might be able to take that thing over, but the difference is you can't shoot out of that. So that's the only drawback. If you put the machine guns on this thing, I won't be able to shoot out of this either. So the handling on the truck overall, it doesn't sway too much. Whoa there, bro. So it doesn't sway too much, which is pretty good. And then let's go around this turn here. I'm about to RPG this in a second to see if it can even survive that with the armor on it. Let's hope it can, but if it cannot, maybe if you're inside it probably will, but I don't have anyone to test that with. So let me know, guys, if that actually matters if you're in it, if you can take an RPG shot or not. So I gotta admit, the driving ability on the truck is actually pretty good, and the interior looks nice, and wow, that happened. But luckily, you could tell the bumper works because, well, the lights still work on the truck, which is pretty cool, and I gotta admit, I'm kind of surprised. So let's go park it over here and see if it can actually eat an RPG shot, which I have a feeling it will not, but let's do the honors anyway, and I'll probably attract some police my way after this. So here's the RPG shot into the side of it. Wow. So it actually did work. I'm going to shoot it again, actually, to see if it will blow up after a second shot. So it actually can take an RPG shot, which is pretty dang impressive. So if you guys do put the armor on it, it does make a bit of a difference. Now I'm going to lose the police real fast, and I'll be right back. I'm actually pretty happy to see that the truck can actually eat a rocket launcher shot with the armor on there. So that's pretty cool, and it doesn't seem to slow the truck down too much at all. Also, if you wanted to sell it, $842,000 fully maxed out really isn't too bad. I gotta admit one thing, by the way, back out of here. If you guys are looking to get one of these vehicles and you kind of got a bad taste in your mouth after last week's vehicle, because I don't blame you on that, $1.7 million for that. I know people are saying the SUV is supposed to be like, you know, realistic and all that, but really? I think you barely do 80 miles an hour, barely any upgrades. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, 1.7 million for that. The thing maybe should have been 500K. But nonetheless, though, this SUV is a lot better, and I gotta admit, it's a really good-looking one, too. I'm actually kind of digging it so far from driving it for a bit. It's pretty fast, and it's already faster than the other SUV we got last week, and it's cheaper, which is really funny. You can also put armor and stuff on this one as well, plus the lock-on jammer and all that good stuff. So I think it's already better than the other SUV, so if you guys were probably like, my goodness, that one literally could be on the street. Or honestly, I think some of the SUVs on the street might have been better than the one we got last week, which is pretty sad. Nonetheless, though, the new Granger is actually really nice. I'm going to test the thing out right now on the highway to see what it will do for speed. In the city, I was doing over 100 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive, around 110 in some areas, which I'm kind of surprised with all the armor on here and all that, and this thing looks pretty awesome. It can at least get up to speed, and it actually handles pretty nicely as well. So if you guys are looking for a vehicle to use in like heist preps or something like that, or something just to cruise around in and mess around in, this truck might actually be a pretty dang good choice. So I finally arrived over here by the tunnel in the new Granger, so let's go do a top speed run on this and give my final thoughts on it. So first things first, I gotta admit one thing. When I first saw this truck, I thought it was going to be like a new vehicle that you pretty much be able to find on the street. That's what I kind of thought about it after seeing the vehicle we had last week. But after driving this thing for a bit, I gotta admit one thing, it's definitely better than that, and the acceleration is actually pretty dang decent. I'm already doing 100 miles an hour, for example, on the highway, which is crazy, and this is actually a really good looking SUV. I know the other vehicles, obviously, update can have armor as well, but being able to throw that on here and eating an RPG shot is pretty cool. So I'm on the flat highway ground right now to see what this thing can actually get to instead of hitting bumps. So I'm doing almost 110. Let's keep accelerating here. I noticed I hit a little hill on the way over here, and I almost hit 120, so obviously that will affect your speed as well. So I'm accelerating, I keep spamming that button. Let's see, so I'm doing 105 to 110 right now on the highway, which is pretty decent. So I'm going to have to say around the top speed for this truck will probably be around 110, which is pretty dang decent. Compared to the iWagon we had last week, the thing barely hit 80 miles an hour. So having this is pretty awesome, and this thing's way cheaper. So I recommend guys definitely taking a look at the new Granger. And not only that, it's also a good looking SUV. So at least we have one of those added into the game now. I was kind of waiting for them to add a newer one of these. I thought that would be a really cool, addition to this game. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the new Granger in the comments below. Are you guys going to pick this thing up?